Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Welcome back to another video talking about the ongoing Gamergate situation. Today we're going to do what we do best, and that is laugh at more weirdos and games journalists on Twitter who are crying about attractive female video game characters. Now before we get into that, happy St. Patrick's Day everyone, and a final reminder this weekend that my limited edition Advanced GG bundle is currently active, featuring my new ice shaker, my new flavor jar, and some new chibi stickers. Make sure to use code REV for 15% off your bundle. The link to this is in the pinned comment. Now, returning to this discussion, so recently a lot of people have championed Stellar Blade as an anti-woke game, simply because it features an attractive female character. That is how low the bar is thanks to companies like Sweet Baby Inc. Now, we've seen another game come forward to push this status quo and defy it. We see this tweet right here saying, Vindictus, Defying Fate, join Stellar Blade and First Descendant as upcoming games that resist ESG and allow women to be feminine instead of having a dog's face and man's body. I miss when femme fatales weren't being downgraded by sweet babies. Now, of course, a user came forward and said, I like attractive female video game characters. You know that's going to piss off people on Twitter, okay? And we got quotes like this saying a whole bunch of nonsense, saying, I'm all for sexuality in games. These doofuses just have such a pathetic, limited view of what a hot woman has to be. It's always got to be model physique and F-cups, nothing else. Muscular girls, woke. Skinny girls, woke. Chubby girls, woke. These men are weak. Level 0 coomers. Okay, I find it very ironic that a person named Normal Guy is trying to power scale coomers. But anyways, as always, this assumes that only men find this character attractive, which is definitely not true. I'm sure a lot of women out there find this type of character and those like it attractive. But anyways, let's look at what they're saying here. So, first of all, nobody has an issue if you like characters with these sort of tropes, okay? No one's gonna judge you, but we will have an issue when you turn around and call people who like character designs like this doofuses and weirdos and weak. That's the issue here. Now, looking at these things labeled as what they perceive as the complaints of people who don't like woke things, all of these things have been represented well by video game characters, female video game characters, without any complaints about it being woke. And especially looking at some of these traits, skinny girls, I don't think there's a single person in history who has ever considered being skinny to be woke. But I'll focus on this chubby one, right, as an example. So think about Mei from Overwatch. When she first hit the scene, people went absolutely feral over her, right? A chubby character, people loved her anyways because it felt organic and natural at the time. However, as time has passed, we know with the various scandals that Blizzard has faced, every time they face one of these scandals, they either create a new character or recreate an existing one to be LGBT or something like that. And it's very obvious that in those moments, those characters are designed in a way that is pandering. It's forced. That's the issue with all of these things. People will call these things woke when these traits and those like it are forced. That is the issue, and that's why people complain about things like that. But of course, this person's not trying to have a conversation. They are quite literally hiding every single reply that's arguing with them and then still replying to them, which is just embarrassing. But here's another quote that I see messages like this all the time on Twitter, where this user says, I like hentai games, but I'm not sure I want every game to become one, to be honest. This is very confusing. One day, I hope, that Twitter users will understand the difference between fan service in a video game versus full-fledged pornography. Like, there's a difference, right? And the fact that a lot of people look at something like cleavage or fan service in a video game and immediately think of it as porn, it's kind of like a self-report. But moving from that game back to Stellar Blade, I saw this tweet that's describing a skin suit that a lot of people are talking about. Recently it was revealed that there is this skin suit in the game, and obviously people are going crazy over it. But this tweet was made a few days ago as a sort of own on the people that are excited about this skin suit existing in the game. So they say, you know, the Stellar Blade skin suit everyone has been gooning over? Well, I just realized a lot of people are in for a shock. If you look at the description, which most won't, it turns out this suit activates hard mode by disabling your shields so you die super easy. So this has 25,000 likes, and a lot of people are considering this discovery as some kind of an own on people who are interested in Stellar Blade, when I think it's very obvious. I think real gamers would have the exact opposite reaction to this. The people interested in Stellar Blade are probably excited to discover this. The fact that you are getting visually rewarded for activating hard mode is something that I think a lot of gamers and people interested in Stellar Blade would actually enjoy. But, 25,000 likes, it just goes to show you Twitter doesn't really know anything about this game and people interested in it. I mean, they're the same type that probably couldn't pass a tutorial mode, let alone reach something like this and be able to play on a hard mode, which relates to this next tweet. So we have a journalist here named Dean Takahashi, a quite infamous journalist who made this tweet about the Gamergate 2.0 situation, saying this whole notion of Gamergate 2.0 and woke policies ruining gaming and game VCs funding bad titles belies the fact of who controls industry. Women-led companies currently get about 2% of all venture capital funding. The powers that be are white men. Just straight up schizo posting at this point. I mean, it's some pure copium and weird deflection onto white men once again. But people would point something out. This is Dean Takahashi, a journalist who is quite infamous. Why, you ask? Well, as this user points out in the quotes, anyways, here's Dean Takahashi attempting to play Cuphead's tutorial. This is a reference to a video that was uploaded about 6 years ago onto YouTube. This is an infamous video. 26 minutes of pure pain. This is a hard watch. So while working with VentureBeat, this journalist would do a playthrough of the Cuphead tutorial. Now, I'm going to play this on the side here. I'm going to be here as your emotional support as we watch this journalist attempt to jump. It's just going to keep going for a very long time. I'm here with you. We'll cringe through this together. But yes, this is an attempt by a games journalist to actually play a game. Now, a lot of people worried about games journalists. I mean, all we got to really do is just lock the features of their accounts behind having to control 2 buttons at the same time. They'd be locked out forever. But yeah, I think a lot of people could stomach an execution video easier than watching this journalist try to jump. But it just gets rough. Okay, guys, it's a hard watch. It's gonna keep going a very long time. We're not gonna watch this forever, but it's just it's just not good. It's not good, guys. They went to school to do this, to be a journalist, and this is the result. This is the moment where I think they're realizing they might need a career change. But yeah, it goes on for several minutes. You get the point, okay? But we're going to move on to a different tweet. This one has got a lot of people talking on Twitter. It's a reaction to everything going on with the ongoing Gamergate situation. This user making a comic saying, if you're on Twitter arguing with a pissy little gamer baby about diversity, please remember that this is the amount of diversity they'd be willing to accept. Now, I don't know what it is with these people and their obsession with babies, whether it's Sweet Baby Inc., or the people defending them calling all of their detractors babies. I don't know, man. It's just weird. But moving on to this right here. So this is what they're saying. They're saying that gamers are upset about this, but okay with this. I have never seen a gamer upset with a color palette that's offered during character creation. Have you guys ever seen someone upset about that? That is a fundamental component of basically every game that's ever been existed where you can create your own character. These have existed for decades, and there's always been options to choose pretty much any variation of skin you want. That is not a new feature. That's not a woke feature. That's something that's always been there. I don't understand why people think this is an own and somehow get 6,000 likes on it. It's crazy. But speaking of people getting pissy about character creation, here's a real example of someone getting violently angry about something like that. Do you guys remember this from a couple years ago back in 2020? A girl was doxxed and threatened by people on Twitter, including those from Black Lives Matter, who were angry because she gave her white character space buns and they thought that was cultural appropriation. Yeah, do you remember that? That actually happened. You want to talk about people getting angry about character creation processes? No, this is the kind of stuff that people are getting angry about, irrationally angry about. But moving on, this is the cherry on top of today's video, the perfect way to give you guys a little send-off. So recently, the Anti-Defamation League has thrown its hat into the ring talking about toxic online video games and the influence it's having on young people. So they made this tweet. As digital social spaces, online games should be regulated to address hate and extremism. It's vital for Congress to examine extremist radicalization in these spaces, and we're grateful for this rep for leading this effort. An important piece to read. Now, this is absolutely insane, especially when you look at the number of likes versus quotes. 100 likes with nearly 3,000 quotes. This is absolutely brutal to look at. This is a murder. I just witnessed a murder live on Twitter. But they, of course, would get hit with a community note, which is, again, the best feature on Twitter. It says this: there is little to no evidence that people are being radicalized through online gaming. This is simply a push for further surveillance of the public, disguised as a goodwill gesture to combat extremism. People primarily play video games to simply relax and have fun. Can you imagine that? Playing a video game to have fun and relax and not be lectured to, or in this case, radicalized by these evil gamers. Yeah, this is a load of baloney here. This is some garbage. But the ADL doing something like this is hardly surprising. It just shows the kind of wackadoos backing up Sweet Baby Inc. and these others, trying to use American tax dollars to surveil gamers who are just trying to have fun because they believe there's some kind of an extremist cult going on in the gaming sphere, when really, just as the note points out, this is a push for more surveillance on regular, everyday people who are just trying to play video games. That's what it is. That's what most of these efforts are pushing for. More surveillance, more cracking down on people's privacy. That's how it always is with these things. They're Trojan horses, but you probably already realized that. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I know we kind of parkoured our way through several different topics, so I appreciate you guys giving this all a listen. And as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.